Imagine one morning you wake up and your entire life savings is gone. Factories are shut down. Millions of people lose their jobs overnight. Families are forced to sell everything they own just to survive. This is not a movie. This actually happened. Plot twist. It all started with one simple belief that felt so true. Stocks only go up forever. Sound familiar? Stay with me, I'm going to take you step by step through the greatest economic party in history, and how one mistake turned it into the darkest decade the modern world has ever seen. The hidden truth about how fragile our financial system really is, and why the same patterns could return today. Let's rewind to 1922. The Great War is over. America is buzzing with optimism. Factories that once produced tanks and weapons are now churning out shiny new cars, radios, vacuum cleaners, and refrigerators. Henry Ford's moving assembly line has revolutionized manufacturing. What used to take 12 hours now takes just 90 minutes. The Model T rolls off the lines at an unbelievable pace, pulling entire industries, oil, steel, rubber, into a massive boom. New York's skyline shoots upward like it's on steroids. Jazz music fills the air, loud, wild, and unstoppable. For the first time, electricity lights up homes across cities. By 1929, over 10 million American homes have radios, filling the nation with music, news, and endless optimism. People genuinely believe the good times will last forever. Regular workers are buying cars and gadgets on easy credit. And the stock market, it becomes the ultimate obsession. Disneyland for adults. The hottest trick in town is buying on margin. You only put down 10% of your own money to control $100 worth of stock. The broker lends you the rest. As long as prices keep rising, everyone wins big. Even your barber is giving stock tips. Trust me, kid, utilities are hot. Shoeshine Boys and bellhops pitch can't-miss investments to millionaires. Between 1924 and 1929, the Dow Jones quadruples. Stock prices break free from reality. Fundamentals no longer matter, only vibes. Companies create complicated holding companies layered on top of each other, selling stock in companies that own stock and other companies that own almost nothing. It's pure speculation on steroids. But beneath the jazz, the shiny cars, and the rising ticker tapes, dangerous cracks are forming. Farmers who profited during the war now face crashing crop prices and heavy debt from new tractors and equipment. Consumer debt is exploding across the country. Rural America struggles while cities party. Economist Roger Babson warns in 1929, a crash is coming. Wall Street laughs, buys more, and tells him to go touch grass. October 24th, 1929. Something shifts. Large investors begin selling heavily. Panic spreads like wildfire. By October 29th, Black Tuesday, the stock market doesn't just fall. It crashes straight into concrete. The Dow plummets. Ticker tapes spit out endless red numbers. Phones ring nonstop. Traders scream across the floor. Some faint on the spot. In just hours, $14 billion in wealth evaporates. Over $200 billion in today's money. People who went to bed rich woke up ruined. For those who bought on margin, the nightmare is worse. Brokers issue margin calls demanding the rest of the money immediately. Most have nothing left. They lose everything and still owe the bank. But the crash is only the beginning of the horror. Banks start failing left and right. Terrified depositors rush to withdraw their life savings. But the banks don't have the cash. Over 9,000 banks collapsed during the 1930s. Entire lifetimes of savings disappear overnight. Businesses can't get loans. Factories shut their gates. Unemployment explodes to 25%. 1 in every 4 Americans loses their job. The disaster doesn't stop at America's shores. U.S. banks call in overseas loans, throwing fragile European economies, still recovering from World War I, into chaos. Global trade collapses by half in just 3 years. You walk through once bustling streets and see fathers standing silently outside closed factory gates. Mothers line up before dawn for a bowl of thin soup. Children faint in school from hunger, not boredom. In the Great Plains, years of poor farming practices combined with severe drought create the Dust Bowl. Towering black blizzards roll across the sky, choking everything in their path. Crops are buried alive. Livestock suffocates. Families wake up covered in dirt, coughing through the night. Millions pack up their broken cars and head west with signs reading, "California or bust." For many, it's just more bust. Cities fill with makeshift shanty towns called Hoovervilles, named after President Hoover, who many blamed for the suffering. People live in cardboard boxes and scrap metal. Newspapers become blankets. Empty pockets turned inside out are mockingly called Hoover flags. Desperation is everywhere. Suicide rates rise dramatically. Marriage and birth rates collapse. The future feels too painful to even imagine. Summer 1932. Thousands of World War I veterans march on Washington, demanding the bonuses they were promised. They build a peaceful tent city. Instead of help, the army arrives with tear gas and bayonets. Camps are burned. Veterans who fought for their country are driven out like enemies. The nation watches in shock. Then, in March 1933, a new voice rises. Franklin D. Roosevelt stands at the podium and delivers words the country desperately needs to hear. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. He wastes no time. Roosevelt launches the New Deal, an unprecedented flood of programs designed to put people back to work and fix the broken system. The Civilian Conservation Corps sends young men to plant trees and restore the land. The Works Progress Administration builds thousands of roads, bridges, schools, and post offices. The Tennessee Valley Authority brings electricity to regions living in darkness. Banks are reformed with new rules. The FDIC is created to protect deposits. Social Security is born. The SEC is established to regulate Wall Street and prevent future abuses. Even artists and writers are hired through the Federal Arts Project to capture the soul of a recovering nation. Dorothea Lange's haunting migrant mother photo becomes its unforgettable face. Slowly, painfully, life begins to return. Factories start humming again. People dare to dream once more. The economy begins its long, difficult recovery. Not with magic, but with work, rules, and resilience. So what is the powerful lesson from the Great Depression for us living in 2026? The same dangerous patterns are still present today. Easy credit, heavy borrowing to invest in booming markets, the seductive belief that this time it's different and stocks only go up forever. When greed, speculation, and excessive debt combine with blind optimism, the results can be catastrophic. The warning signs are almost always there: rising inequality, dangerous debt levels, asset bubbles, ignored fundamentals, and overconfidence. The hidden truth? Economies are not invincible. They are built on confidence, trust, and responsibility. When those break, everything can unravel in weeks. The Great Depression also shows us something even more important. Recovery is possible. Nations can rebuild. Better systems can be created, and human endurance combined with smart leadership and decisive action can eventually turn the darkest times into the foundation for a stronger future. If you learned something valuable today and want more powerful, eye-opening stories about money, history, wealth secrets, power, and the hidden forces that shape our world, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Drop a comment below. What warning sign do you see in the economy today? Because once you understand these patterns, you can make smarter decisions, protect your wealth, and avoid the same mistakes. Thanks for watching, friends. Stay smart with your money, stay resilient. See you in the next one.